Hello everybody, welcome back on MDG Media, your European Disc Golf Hub channel. This is the 2024 European Disc Golf Festival, second round moving day of the MPO division. We had some amazing action yesterday on our camera, 16 down for Ricky Wysocki. My name is Maxime and with me, Elias Luukkonen.
What's up, Max? What's up, viewers? Nice to be here. And yeah, that's 16 under, third highest rated round of all time, highest rated round ever played on European soil. Ricky, I'd say he's really in his prime right now. I've never seen him play this consistently for such many weeks in a row.
He just won 2 elites, almost took down that major last week, and he's in position to go for the win also here. First on the tee, 1049 rated player. An amazing round yesterday. We just wait for some great action today.
And James Proctor, somebody who's very comfortable with this course, I suppose, with those a lot of straight shots. He's really good with those straight shots. He also got his first Elite Series win earlier in the Swedish Open this year.
Exactly, on fire and 10 down yesterday. Perfect. Same for Väino Mäkelä, third player of the card. Lonely European player today. Exciting.
And Klein, Discmania, we have 4 different sponsors on the card. That's pretty cool, I think. And he's young, talented player. He's no stranger to these lead cards. Major winner as well at the US DGC. And we're starting off on a long par 4. Really not that tricky of a hole though for these top players. It's an open hyzer off the tee. What makes it difficult is that you have an OB line to the right that you want to stay kind of close to. Of course you can fade out left, but that brings out the danger of going to the left side OB, especially with these asphalt paths going through the fairway. You can easily skip to the left side. And from the fairway you have about 110 meters to approach uphill. Really safe approach. You can pretty much just slam your overstable driver up there.
You're definitely right. As the players are waiting for the kickoff. Probably the crowd favorite today, with the hot score yesterday.
Yeah, Ricky, I think he's crowd favorite almost anywhere he goes. He plays with so much passion, and of course that 16 under really helps. Going with a pretty low shot here, not really challenging the right side OB, and that's a solid result. Very good birdie position from there.
Low line, straight at the fairway.
Proctor!
Proctorios. 10 down yesterday, super solid. If Ricky Wysocki was not existing, he would be perfect.
Might be one of the first times in history when you shoot the second best score of the day at 1070 rated and you're 6 strokes back. But that's a good start there, perfect shot.
Who's Tanghe? Do you like his style?
I love it. I love it for a player that has gone through many years in his career. He's looking like a veteran and I love that. And he's also playing like a veteran, making a sponsor change just a few weeks back in the middle of the season, but playing incredible after that.
I was talking with him yesterday, he needed some change.
Also tied for second place with the result 10 shots on the par from the United States of America. Sponsored by Discmania.
I would call Klein the most underrated player in the world. I feel like he's left out of the conversation of being one of the top players in the world. And once again, you know, showing that he can do it. Backhand, he's got a good forehand, good putt when he's on. He's just a player that scores. He just scores, makes it look easy.
How can you underrate a USDGC champion? Sorry.
That's what I'm thinking. And Ricky here, he needs to crush it. He's pretty far back. You can see going almost full speed there, and wow. He's gonna continue right from where he left off. It's gonna be almost a tap-in birdie on hole number 1.
Yeah, it looks pretty easy. Väino now. Early. Decent. Just outside C2.
Not what he wanted. That's pretty easy to do here with that uphill run-up. And you don't really want to pull it to the right, because it's the slope here is slightly left to right, but more just uphill. But if you pull it to the right, it's going to be way right. And that's how you played this hole by Kyle Klein. 2 perfect shots and a tap-in birdie.
Yeah, great control on this one. And James with the longest drive. Oh, this needs to fade. Just inside circle 1. 8 meters uphill. He's pretty comfortable inside the circle, so I'd see a birdie coming.
Yeah, we always talk about how great of a putter James is, but that's really for good reason. And Väino there, solid effort. Good to see that he's not drawing any medal with a miss, because there's a lot of potential for roll away here.
Dead center, good height, good pace, and a good way to start your round.
And that's just too easy for Rick right now. 19 holes played in the tournament and he's 17 under par.
Casual.
Nobody really running into any trouble here on 1. 3 birdies, 1 par. That's what we would expect on this hole. It's pretty simple for the best players.
You were saying the same yesterday, and I can't agree more. The par is okay, but if you have the distance, it's a pretty not easy given birdie, but you want this one. Hole 2.
Hole 2, such a different hole, 92 meters. This time, you don't need any distance, just need to hit the line, really throw a straight shot. This hole will tempt you into trying to throw a bit of a hyzer through the gap, because the basket is just a couple of meters to the left from the straight line. But really a straight shot will get you to 4 meters. And I think the straight shot is the most consistent way to get in the circle, mid-range. Some players even going for a straight putter here.
Archer. And Ricky on the tee box. Stopped by an early tree on the right side. Left with a C2 putt maybe. Deep one. James, light turn. And fading, that's perfect.
Great shot there, and you can really see how the straight line, with just the slightest bit of fade, he's outside the bullseye, but pretty much a tap-in for him. And Kyle here inside, this can get through, and it will. Great result there. He will have to call himself a little bit lucky after that, but it's quite common, I feel like, to see that line being taken.
Yeah, sometimes it happens on that left side. There is some gaps. And you can also hit the perfect line and hit an early tree. Yeah, Väino is gonna be okay. Long range putt for the bird. Outside C2. Or maybe closer. Almost in. From long range for Ricky. Now Väino with some trees in the way. Oh, nice control. And this slightly enhyzer putter here.
And James Pretty short putt, just 5 meters left here. Wow. He's the last person I would expect to miss that putt. And Kyle there a little bit high in the chains, but in that was shocking. Shocking miss.
What just happened, man? And he was low in that front cage. I guess it happens to the best, and we are moving on to hole 3.
Yeah, interesting to see how he gets over that though. And hole 3 here, another good chance for the birdie. Really the first 5 holes all playing significantly under par on average. You really need to start out firing on this first 5. And this one no exception, only 92 meters, same as the last hole. This one though, kind of the opposite shape. The basket is just a couple of meters to the right. This one favors a forehand, not because of the shape necessarily, but because of the slight right to left slope and because of the low ceiling. The forehand keeps the low ceiling out of play a little bit better than the backhand, I feel.
Yeah, I see all those guys going for the forehand. Maybe James with the backhand turnover. But the rest of the cards should go with the easiest option, as you were mentioning. That's a perfect height. Slightly wider, and it could go into the chains, actually.
Yeah, for sure. Great hole for Ricky, and James is actually going for the forehand. You know, he does have a workable forehand. It's not like his forehand is garbage and he shouldn't use it. And you can see it there, just 6 meters long. Same range where he missed on the last hole, so it's gonna be interesting how he steps up to that one. And Väino there, good shot there, figuring out the new discs very quickly. As you mentioned, he needed a change, and in the middle of the season it's very uncommon to change sponsors in the middle of the season, but working out great for him.
Yeah, it brought some new energy in his bag, in his head, and that's a good bird. Good answer also to the previous putt for James. Ricky now, slightly downhill, dead center. Second birdie, 2 down through 3.
This field of the top professional players in our sport is making this hole look incredibly easy. 62% of the field is getting a birdie here, playing over half a stroke below par on average.
That's crazy, man. I was scared about this one at the practice round, and all the practice rounds I took. That's definitely not an easy hole.
Just showing how our sport is growing into more of a professional way. You know, these simple par 3s, they are made look very easy, as they should be.
And Aaron Gossage and Rhinus Balodis with 11 down. Back to the clubhouse.
We are here. We are one. We will fight. We will fall. We will prevail. From the fjords of Norway to the shores of Spain, from the fire of Iceland to the hope of Ukraine, 30 countries, one voice. Go Europe.
And we are back. Hole 4.
Hole 4, lovely tunnel shot here. Once again, same theme as the last 2 holes. It's a straight shot, but with a slight finish to the left. Though I think on this one it is better to play a stronger finish to the left rather than a straight shot, because there is an OB line long and right side. It's a little bit shorter on the right side, so I'd rather finish a bit early left than go at all long on the right side. Do you think it's a mid-range or a fairway driver for these guys?
I'd go a stable fairway driver. 90% of power, maybe. It's maybe long for a mid-range. I'm not sure what disc he used. That's, you know, early left, and usually you're just going through those trees. It happens pretty often. Same for Ricky. And he's catching one.
Yeah, that's the difference on this hole sometimes. If you don't throw that perfect shot around the right corner, you have a 50% chance to go through. And James looks like he's also taking on that chance. And getting through everything in the circle, that's a really good result for a throw that looked pretty early out of the hand.
Yeah, very nice results. I'm not sure if he was aiming for that line, but it worked. And now Väino, that's early. Very early, actually. He's going to be back into the fairway. Left with a 30-35 approach, going for the jump putt. Not even jumping. Yeah, that's a mistake. Huge one. No, not wide enough.
I think there's something up with Finnish players approaching on this hole. You know, we saw Niklas yesterday, also from a short drive, had a pretty routine approach but messed it up. And Väino here, important putt. And that's not good. He has a slow start of being just even par through 4.
Yeah, he was the only player with 1 birdie and another bogey now. 4 in a row for Klein now. Just outside the circle. Very nice start. Thank you, James. Perfect putt. You know, he scared us on that hole too, but he answered pretty nicely to the mistake and a par for Ricky. 2 down through 4.
Imagine this, Ricky already has as many pars as he had in the first round combined, all of the 18 holes.
What to say about that? He's just going for a more normal round maybe. Hole 5 now, par 4, 207 meters. What to know about that?
Another very scoreable hole. It's not long, it's not particularly wooded, especially not from the tee. Pretty much an open shot with trees on the left and right side. You're aiming to fly between this light pole on the left and the tree on the right, ideally with a driver. Fast driver is good, fairway driver can be okay also if you can hold it straight. Challenge is the left side OB of the drive, and then on the approach you have a couple of trees that you have to miss. No matter what line are you taking, you have a straight shot, you have a hyzer shot, you have a forehand shot. You need to miss about 1 tree.
Now Kyle, hyzer flip up. Great control on that shot. Not scared at all about that left side OB. And in a great spot to attack the basket on the second shot.
And James, I love the release. Turning over a bit though, needs to finish back before the right side OB, and he's gonna be very much fine there. Looks like the run-up is not ideal for the backhand, so I would expect another James Proctor forehand there.
Yeah, slightly disturbed by that tree probably. And great drive from Ricky. Yeah, stopped into that bush. We'll see if he's able to work something out. That's the Halo Destroyer, I'm pretty sure, for Väino. Mäkelä. Oh, catching the only tree he need to miss.
I'm happy he stayed safe though, because that drive was looking really good. That's really the only tree you have to miss. And Väino, good looking sidearm. You need to keep it kind of low like this. Let's see if he gets the skip. And there it is in the circle for a birdie.
Yeah, 7-8 meters. Good tester for him to be back 1 down. Now James with a forehand as expected. That's low, but that's gonna skip. And this is perfect. Bullseye hit for 4th birdie out of 5 holes.
Great job. And you know, I haven't really seen him throwing a lot of forehands in the past, but clearly he's got it down with good accuracy.
Oh no! Kyle catching an early tree on the line.
Yeah, just inside there, you have to, with the hyzer, you have to push it pretty wide. You know, the inside trees are much closer than the outside trees, so it's a really good shape for the, you know, wide hyzer. And Ricky here, super good looking approach. He's so comfortable with that kneeling sidearm. I remember a few years back, he was even going for the kneeling sidearm sometimes in the open, just because he was so comfortable with it.
And Kyle, just outside bullseye, 4 or 5 meters left. Väino for another green box. Perfect.
Kind of a pitch putt. You see that sometimes from close distance he goes with less weight shift, arm straighter, and more of a up and down motion on the putt compared to from outside the circle. He's more of a strong spin putter.
Yeah, safer to avoid the speed outs. And hole 6 now, beautiful Mendo.
Yeah, biggest Mando sign I have seen on the course. Really unmissable, just making you play straight down the tunnel. Have to throw a low thrown driver, ideally a distance driver. Wanna hit it just under the branches, and really depends on if you end up on more of the right side of the fairway or the left side. Left side opens up more of a forehand hyzer or a backhand turnover approach. Right side opens up more of a backhand hyzer. It's a pretty big island. Most room is on the long right side, or at least on the right side of the basket. You know, you do have some breathing room there. It's really about getting a good drive here, and then the approach is pretty simple.
And this is a good height from James. Flexing, fading, and great ground play also. Is he left enough?
I think he's gonna have to go through the right gap from there.
Oh yeah?
I think so, but I think it's gonna be fine. Like, he got so much distance that it's only about a 60-meter shot from there.
And that's the better play to me. He's gonna be open for turnover or forehand. Would be the main option for him now. Ooh, that's early. And that's kicking 3 really early on the left side. He's gonna work for the par.
Yeah, lovely shot from Kyle here. I feel like this is a good shape for him. I really see him throwing well on those slight turnover to flex shots with a straight to stable driver. And man, he just loves disc golf. He's playing with a lot of joy. It's great to see from a young player.
And Väino playing safe. He's gonna go for that middle gap. And as you can see, the left side is pretty open. If you're left enough. Oh, and that's long. Okay. First mistake of the tournament for Ricky.
And a pretty big one. It's an instant bogey. If you miss the island on the approach, you're going to a drop zone.
And that would be a 2-stroke swing with anybody that would go for birdie here, as Klein is parked under the basket right now. Yeah, I was pretty surprised about this one. Doesn't want to take any risks, apparently. Smart golf and big brain golf, he would call that.
Yeah, no problem with that. Väino there, it's a good scramble. But yeah, James really, you know, I think he just had a tight angle, and the problem from his putt was not that he didn't have a gap, but the gap he had an extremely low ceiling, so he would have had to contend with that wall on the front side of the island. And even if he got over it, you know, he would have challenged the long side because he would have had to throw it so hard. So I think smart play there, and he's gonna get one stroke on Ricky there, going very quick from the drop zone, parked for the bogey.
And Cal will be 4 strokes, even 3 strokes behind Ricky after the first mistake of the champ. 2 down through 6. And the first red box for Richard. As you can see, huge crowd, good weather. And don't forget to check that DGPT Pro shop, as we are moving on to hole 7 par 3 downhill. Pretty dangerous one.
Very dangerous. If you hit any trees on this hole, which you don't want to do, but if you do, the chances of ending up in the right side or left side OB are massive. So the safest play here, of course, pure down the middle, ideally with a mid-range. But I think even more important is the height control. Keep your shot low, because if you hit low, you know, if you hit near the ground and hit a tree, it's gonna be, a lot of the times it's really gonna be fine. So I'd expect a lot of these guys to not throw too high into this gap. And never mind, Kyle is throwing just a regular height shot. That is a really lucky kick though. Hitting the square middle of the tree, and he's gonna have a pretty simple par from there.
Nice release. Yeah, slight turn at the end, but good shot from James. Piercing the gap. Crowd approved. Now Väino, low line, that's the safest way not to take any risks with the kick of the trees. It's gonna be in the center of the fairway. Now Ricky, he made it look super easy yesterday, exactly the same, even closer to the basket. That's going to be a good bounce back after the mistake on hole 6.
Man, he turned around when the disc was not even halfway through the fairway. He was so confident with that shot, and for good reason. On a hole that is, this is actually the second hole of the round that is playing above par. Last hole number 6 was just barely playing above par, and this one with a 3.25 average, so quite significantly over par. That is just simply because it's so brutal if you hit a tree on this one.
On fire since the mistake on hole 2. 5 down through 7. Easy peasy for Ricky. 2 birdies, 2 pars. You were mentioning the average on this hole. Pretty nice result for the lead card. As we are moving on to the easiest hole on the course, probably. Hole 8.
Yeah, statistically the easiest. Playing actually incredibly easy, 2.31 average on this hole. That is one of the lowest I have seen. It's 107 meters, there is OB short and OB right and OB left technically. Really the short OB is the only one that can come into play. Really it's an open hyzer, take your overstable fairway or overstable distance driver, put it out to the right. You can even hit the leaves of this tree hanging above the basket, and 9 times out of 10 they're gonna drop you just next to the basket.
What do you toss on this one, distance driver?
Yeah, I like the overstable distance driver, just like James is doing here. You can even hit the tree, and that's perfect. Parked. I think that might be even the most consistent way to play the hole.
Yeah, you can just aim to those branches and fall down to the basket. Now Ricky. Oh. And stays in bounds.
Not a great shot though. He landed inside the OB area, and just because it's very hard ground, he was able to skip out of it. Not a great shot though. Kyle making a great adjustment here.
Perfect. Wider, lower. Really like this one. And Väino flat release into the branches. Casual play on this hole 8.
I'm pretty surprised with how poor Ricky's shot was, as this hole is actually super easy, and there you go.
Good break, taking the birdie and the opportunity. That should be a star frame first of the round for the card.
Good pitch there from Väino. I wonder if he's inspired a little bit from Niklas Anttila having a similar sort of pitch putt from close distance.
They are traveling together. Maybe it gave him the idea. Hole 9, par 4, 194 meters.
Yeah, this is a nice scoreable hole. You know, very much a classical park hole. It's typical for this course with a low ceiling. You have to throw a fairway driver or even a distance driver. A lot of players are disking up to that distance driver to just hit it low under the branches, take a big skip forward, and the biggest of drives are gonna land just 50 meters to the basket left. Pretty easy par 4 if you can avoid that low ceiling, but if you cannot, then you're left with a tricky approach. And on the approach there's really just one big tree in the way that you have to avoid somehow.
Yeah, a bit high, but still in the middle of that fairway. Under those trees, you have a gap and a way to attack the basket and the green. That's better if it can fade. Yeah, keeping the turn a bit too much. A decent result for Ricky.
You could see his disc flying past the 100 meter stake, so that is 100 meters or 328 feet to the basket. And Kyle there, beautiful shot, slowing down at the end. I think he went with a fairway driver there. Just beautiful. That's the perfect control shot on this hole.
Yeah, you're right. Not as long as what we could witness earlier on this hole, on this drive, but definitely in position. And this is in danger. Okay. Pretty lucky, you would say?
For sure. That left side OB usually comes into play only with those 3 hits. And let's see James here. Wants some hyzer finish. Not quite though. If he wants to have a birdie here, he wants to or needs to hit another C2 putt. Not what you want on this hole. And Ricky there, he's gonna be just a little bit right of the basket, about 5 meters left. I think he missed his line to the right, but as I said, only one big tree in the middle of the gap, so really no problem there. And Väino, a little long, good line though, nothing wrong with that shot. It's a hole that, you know, when you play it, it actually feels super easy after a good drive. It's all about that drive, and you can see Kyle there just pitching up a forehand. Beautiful touch. And this is another great look at the crowd. Just, it's impressive how, as Väino missing this one, this course is set up so perfectly for the crowd. They can see almost every hole without ever stepping onto the fairway. You know, they're outside of the fairway's edge, behind the fences, not distracting any of the players on the fairway, but still being very close to the action right there, 15 meters away from the basket.
Yeah, great green. And a good bird to finish the front 9, 5 down through 9 with a bogey. 21 through the entire tournament. Yeah, we are witnessing some really solid golf right now. As you can see, Klein with the best round so far, 7 through 9. And we are seeing some names from other cards going up the scoreboard. Pretty interesting. And yeah, pleasure to comment on this with you, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Max. And I'm excited to see the back nine. Ricky's still with the commanding lead, but Kyle already got a couple of strokes on him on the front. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens on the back.
Yeah, the gap was so strong before the round. Still 4 strokes ahead. Let's see if he's able to keep the pace and control the lead. And we'll see you guys on the back nine.